Welcome back, Guardians. I hope you are well. We've come upon interesting times. Deep space reports, supported by Seraph Bunker's sensors, have reported the so-called salvation providing aggressors are making their way through our solar system at startling speed. It may be sooner than we expect when we face them in battle and test our mettle against their darkness. Alongside that, reports have surfaced that the Drifter and potentially ERIS MORN have been seen recently missing from their typical posts in the tower's underbelly and the moon, respectively. Where they have been, you might ask. The answer may be closer to home than we expect, and seemingly untouched moon of Europa. But what lies on Europa, Guardians? The Deep Stone Crypt? Some mythical BRAY facility that is supposed to be the birthplace of the XO? More echoes of Golden Age technology awaiting to be reawakened by the touch of humanity? Many in the tower and the Vanguard worry that we are not focusing our energy on the current threats. The Almighty still bears down upon us, now casting a shadow against the sun. These darkness-based ships continue to transgress in our system, and we focus on mysteries and possibilities. Perhaps if Europa was to hold an advantage, a weapon or new understanding to utilize against our enemies, the journey could be justified. But we should be mindful of the threats that lie in front of us. For now, we shall attempt to provide more information on Europa, the Deep Stone Crypt, and the potential the past relics of the Golden Age could hold for us. Europa, a moon ice-locked, frigid, and unwelcoming. A world that is better left avoided in its current snow-capped slumber than touched again by humanity. At least some would hope this to be the case. Ever since the first days of our awakening, Guardians, specifically that of the XO, wondered about their past, their potential, as if a gap in their memory banks, in between circuitry mimicking brain matter, was longing for a connection to be made whole. We assumed that Europa was to hold the Deep Stone Crypt. We assumed. When we first grasped the stars again, when the last city was made safe prior to the Red War. Now, two potential theories exist, at least immediately, and there are likely more. The first, the Deep Stone Crypt is some variant of a facility of BRAY, the original thought starters and leaders in exo manufacturing and development. And that facility could be located on one of the celestial gas giant's moons, such as Europa, or even Titan, or even Enceladus. We should note, for the more perceptive amongst you, that Cade 6's last farewell gift contained a null cipher of sorts, providing the clear reference to Enceladus. And many of you have taken that message to be the location of the Deep Stone Crypt. Now, it's quite possible, mind you, perhaps even probable, but BRAY was a megacorporation of unimaginable size and resource. It's likely they had the ability to create multiple manufacturing points and facilities across the system. And what's a potentially better spot than an out-of-the-way frozen world, useless in all other ways beyond being an area to hide things away? Now think about it for a moment, Guardians. BRAY wasn't just a Golden Age corporation ushering in humane products for the world to enjoy. They always had some ulterior motive. If the Golden Age was so peaceful, why create Rasputin? Why create the XOs? Why hide facilities, erase memories, create war machines if they weren't preparing or drawing their own battle plans? Certainly they had the interest of humanity in their heart of their corporate buildup. But if they stepped on a few people along their way, or had to hide away their malpractice or moral injustice, it was buried beneath the rhetoric of doing it all for the greater good. Thus far, we've seen ERIS MORN and our Drifter both find themselves outbound towards the celestial gas giants on a direct intercept course to Europa in the hopes of finding answers. Perhaps More likely, both have a unique affinity towards the darkness, or better, the paracausal forces that empower the light and the dark. For example, ERIS MORN was particularly afflicted by the nightmares on Luna. While other Guardians reported similar experiences, ERIS was one of the few to identify a mysterious signal coming from underneath the surface of the moon. As we now know, it's tied directly to the pyramid ship or darkness-wielding enigmas. How do you imagine that is possible, Guardians? She has always been reported as having the ability to hear the whispers of the darkness. She even created her own magic akin to the Hive's paracausal teleportation. That's not just a skill you pick up by reading a dusty old Hive tome or having a worm larva latch onto you. That's an ability with a much more sinister in nature, regardless of how useful it is to Guardians or our objectives. But we shouldn't call into question her loyalties, as many of the Vanguard have done in the past. We should call into question the latitude of her abilities and how listening to the whispers of the darkness could easily be turned into a trap of curiosity. The Drifter, the man who helped bring back Saint 14 with some abominable technology, unknown in nature, likely similar to the design of the derelict and the massive creature or thing it hauls. Can he truly be trusted? Perhaps the Vanguard is right, or has always been right about this rogue. After all, he still calls himself a Lightbearer, as if the Dark Age is still alive, worn by his action, his name like a trophy. He is a man motivated by deals in his favor, rarely nothing more. Many Guardians, unknown in name, even work closer with him, uncovering the truth to his facade. He isn't evil, mind you, but perhaps too neutral to be truly so casually defined as one of the good guys or one of the bad. Whatever may lie on Europa, you can be positive it isn't a force of light. At least, we should assume this. Rarely do those who speak with the darkness, who use its power to commit acts of travesty against time and reason, have motivations so pure. This is more hypothetical, mind you, and I'm certain more scholars will provide a different contextual approach here, so be mindful with what you take away from this section of the report. Wish we were going to Titan instead, hell, anywhere but Europa. Was hoping not to spend my summer on a frozen tundra. Hey, I get that. We just got a new pool, now Dave's gonna be stuck cleaning it. We'll have to bring the kids over when we get back. Hopefully, this is a quick turnaround. Doubt it. This feels big. I've even heard the old man himself is there. Crap, really? Another one of his pet projects? Aren't they all at this point? Wish that guy would take a break. He's not happy unless he's broken some natural law and made us all complicit. Whatever was found on Europa had the attention of the BRAY organization, or seemingly so, and their primary founder was one of the members, driving his most experienced intellectuals to that point of discovery. It's unknown at this time what was specifically found on Europa, but it could be deduced in short order. Once Guardians begin to make landfall, they shall certainly report in their experiences, their discoveries. Additionally, it should be noted that one of the 12 Clovis stations designed to partition the mind and potentially functionality of Rasputin is also located on Europa. To be frank, there are 12 or so of these stations found across the system, but it's likely that the answers to the events of the collapse, Rasputin's rogue mine incident, or otherwise will be uncovered, at least hopefully, with landfall on Europa. It's not mere coincidence that these darkness ships have been sighted in orbit around the moon that the Drifter and ERIS MORN have both made for Europa, and for a rumored lost Clovis facility to be located on that same moon as well. Certainly, these items are somewhat connected by a common thread, perhaps that of the darkness, perhaps that of mere chance or luck. A few final questions remain. What of Elsie BRAY, the missing member of the BRAY family? Well, relatively speaking. She did design the ship, the Shadow Trespass, designed to avoid any type of space or land-based signal detection, making it practically invisible to anyone making but a visual identification. And in the vastness of space, well, let's just say you'd need considerable luck to find it. Perhaps another thread of the BRAY family will be answered. We can only speculate. What of Marazav? ERIS has been communicating with her queen, or at least hoping to do so. Will she finally return to retake the shore, unite the Awoken? So many questions, Guardians. Finally, the Atlas, the supposed legendary journal of the founder of the BRAY family, considered to be the silver bullet of Golden Age technology, resource points, data storage points, the list goes on for an eternity. Could this also be potentially discovered? We know that Anna has been seeking this out for some time, hoping her search of various long-lost Clovis facilities that some pathway would open to its discovery. We can only hope. We can only hope, Guardians, that once the pathways are set, orders are given by the Vanguard, and the threat of the Almighty is diminished or excised, we will have the opportunity to uncover the secrets beneath this world buried in ice and snow. We beg the question, demand answers, reach for secrets of our past and our potential salvation. We hope in quiet desperation that this world will unlock itself to us, offer over its bounty, and provide us a weapon, a tool, an opportunity to be free from the coming threats of the darkness, to end it so completely, so swiftly, that the stories of the Dark Age, of Oryx, of the Red War, of the darkness are but simple footnotes in the history of humanity and of the light that extends for a millennia. But to get to that point, to find ourselves looking back into our past victories, it takes brave steps of discovery and courage on a world long since lost to us, the moon of Jupiter, our Europa. Stay safe, Guardians. Malicious figures tend to hide themselves in the shadows of those celestial gas giants so far from our light. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed this one. Just wanted to add some speculation and thought on the upcoming fall DLC, or at least what I think will be the fall DLC. Obviously, there's a lot of narrative threads here that need some type of answering, but the connective tissue seems to be the Darkness Pyramid ships being on Europa. But we should call out that what I assume to be Clovis Bray found something on Europa during the Golden Age. Now, the Solar Sail ship lore kind of dictates this, or at least ties to this, but it doesn't specifically say that it was Clovis Bray. You can make that assumption. I'm genuinely curious as to what that is. As always, I'm open to your theories as well. Let me know in the Discord or in the comments sections. And obviously, once we get more information, I'm going to dive further into this topic, but I'm actually very excited to see where the Destiny story continues and comes to life further here in this new DLC, and hopefully in the next season. With that being said, another video coming up this next Wednesday, and obviously this next Sunday, and I'll do what I can before I get to the move, but just want to let you know again, I may end up missing the week of June 10th, not having my equipment. Now, I'll try to get the videos done ahead of time, but I'll let you know as to what's going on throughout the week. Hope you're all staying safe, and more to come.